Welcome to our English program podcast, Kaleidoscope. In our today's program, welcome to our second part of our program titled Unveiling the Silent Warriors, Ramayan's Hidden Voices, presented by poets of Pune, Sagar Tupe, Himanshu Trivedi, Vivek Dubey, and the narrator Disha Tasgaonkar, who will be reciting on the other unsung characters of Urmila, Shabri, and Trijata. We now have Sagar Tupe, who will recite a powerful poem that shines a light on Urmila's unwavering devotion and sacrifice. This poem delves deeper into Urmila's silent suffering, her strength in separation, and the love that was overlooked by many. It reveals the untold story she endured in silence and the love she carried for Lakshman. Through Sagar's recitation, we will honor this often forgotten character of the Ramayana, whose story is deserving of remembrance and reverence.
A love beyond the exile. Urmila's saga. Unmatched was Urmila's devotion, a saga of sacrifice and boundless love. In the Ramayana, there was character so overlooked, so ignored by all above. Urmila longed to accompany Lakshman on his arduous exile, to share his grief and lighten his burdens, mile after mile. But Lakshman refused, with words both noble and stern. The kingdom and mothers need you. This is what you must learn. A bride's life, a river flowing with her husband by her side. At life's restless shores, her thoughts held no one but Am as her guide. Her unwavering vow of devotion, internal and divine, lived in Urmila's heart, a flame that would never decline. Unmatched was Urmila's devotion, a saga of sacrifice and boundless love. In the Ramayana, there was a character so overlooked, so ignored by all above. Her nights were haunted by the dreams of their shared days. Her soul cried silently, longing for his gaze. She waited at the window, tracing shadow on the floor, wishing he would return back and walk through the door. Her heart beat with his name, her prayers filled the sky. Yet she knew, for his duty, her desires must lie. Unmatched was Urmila's devotion, a saga of sacrifice and boundless love. Yet, blessed is Urmila, the daughter of Janak's noble line. Her sacrifices, her love, divine and sublime.
Thank you, Sagar, for such a heartfelt and poignant recitation. Through your words, we have been able to feel Urmila's enduring love, sacrifice, and the silent pain she bore. Her devotion, often overlooked in the Ramayana, is now brought to the forefront. So up next, we have Himanshu Trivedi, who will recite a poem that beautifully brings to life the devotion and pure faith of Shabri, a character whose love and unwavering belief in Lord Ram are etched in the annals of the Ramayana. This poem, The Berries of Faith, captures Shabri's journey of selfless devotion, her silent sacrifice, and the purity of her heart. Through Himanshu's recitation, we are reminded that true devotion transcends rituals and offerings. It is the heart's sincerity and faith that matters most. So let us now listen to the divine tale of Shabri's love for Sri Ram.
The berries of faith. When I was a little child, my mother would teach me the Ramayana. Through the vivid illustration of its pages, she would recount a timeless tale. In the hallowed hermitage of Sage Matanga, Shabri would go to the study and learn. She embodied the essence of devotion and love. Behold the heart of Shabri, brimming with love, her every longing fixed upon Lord Ram. Her days were spent adorning her modest abode, her nights in fervent prayer, calling out his name, each fleeting moment an offering of her soul. Her love, pure and boundless, sought no claim. Each breath whispered his name softly, every deed an ode to his honor. Years she waited, steadfast and patient, her unshaken faith warming the Lord's heart. One day my Lord will grace the humble hut, she thought, as she adorned it with fragrant flower. In search of Sita, Ram and Lakshman arrived at humble dwelling. They paused, the rest beneath her roof. What gift shall I offer my Lord? She wondered, presenting a bundle of ripened berries, tasting each berry herself to ensure its sweetness. She offered them humbly to the Lord. Lakshman, overcautious, urged Ram to refrain, for they have been tested by Sabri first. But Ram smiled, his gaze warm with affection, and partook the berries, their sweetness magnified by the purity of her devotion. Through her selfless love, she revealed the trust essence of faith. Overcome by her unshaken devotion, the Lord showed her the path to salvation. When I was little child, my mother taught me the enduring love of Sabri.
Thank you, Himanshu. Through your words, we were able to feel the depth of Shabri's devotion, her patience, her selflessness, and the purity of her love. Her story is a reminder that faith is not about grand gestures, but about the sincerity and humility that lie within. Shabri's love for Lord Ram, embodied in the simple offering of berries, shows the truest form of devotion is one of that which requires no outward display, but only the purity of the heart. Thank you for bringing this sacred moment to life with such grace. Now, let us walk into the hallowed garden of Ashok Vatika, where the heart of Sita, bound by sorrow, finds solace in the unexpected compassion of the one who once stood in opposition. This is the story of Trijata, a Rakshasi whose duty transcends loyalty to the mighty Ravan and embraces the tenderness of a mother's care for the divine Vaidehi.
From darkness to light, a servant's redemption. In Ashoka's grove I dwell with Vaidehi serene, amidst purity's grace, near chastity's sheen. Every breath she takes, for Raghunath she sighs. Tears flow endlessly as her sorrow she implies. I now see her as a daughter, tender and divine, not merely a woman, but a goddess in her prime. I have consoled her heart, do not weep in vain. Raghunandan will come, endure the pain. Forsake not sustenance, your spirit must stay, for your perseverance will herald a brighter day. I am no traitor, this truth I understand. Sita's abduction strikes against moral command. Thou, my lord, is Dashanan, I am no ingrate. In this golden city, I am not lost to fate. Yet sorrow grips me, for if her fears turn true, the death of my lord will bring grief anew. Deeds reap their dues, the sinful meet despair. Widowhood's anguish is a burden beyond compare. Still I know this truth, unshaken and vast. Light shall prevail as darkness breathes its last. Raghunath's arrows will claim my lord's breath, yet through his end he will find a blessed death. To Vaikunt, fortunate Ravan will ascend, for even the fallen may meet a noble end. With these thoughts I find solace in my plight. Rejoicing in Vaidehi's presence, my heart alights. A servant of unrighteousness, yet drawn to virtue's flame, in Raghunath's companion, I have found my ultimate acclaim.
Thank you, Vivek, for such a moving recitation. In the quiet of Ashoka's grove, amidst the sacred trees, the Rakshasi's heart found redemption in nurturing Sita, a daughter, not by blood, but by a shared bond of suffering and hope. Here, amidst sorrow and fleeting darkness, a spark of virtue shines, reminding us that even in those on the path of unrighteousness can find light in their choices. Now, let us revisit a tale as old as time, one of love, betrayal, and redemption. A story of a woman who was condemned to live as a stone, her purity questioned, her existence erased by the curse of a patriarchal world. This is the tale of Ahilya, a character from the Ramayana, whose silent suffering calls out across millennia. As I recite her story, let us reflect on the trials faced by women, past and present, and ask ourselves, when will this cycle of suffering end? The stone that whispered Ram. Ram, 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 the only name that echoed within me. A chant reverberated from the stone for 60,000 years, waiting for redemption, for his touch to free me from a curse undeserved. I was a creation, a marvel, the delicate craft of Brahma's hands. Alluring, they said, too beautiful for my own being. Given to Rishi Gautam, my fate sealed without a whisper of my will. Did they ask? Did they wonder if I had a voice beneath my bowed head, my unspoken devotion? No. Silence was my only language. As a sage's wife, I carried the weight of austerity, nursing wounds, serving the needy, weaving care into every thread of my existence. Did they see? Did they count these quiet deeds etched into the soil of our hermitage? Not once. And then, that night, the fateful shadow of Indra, cloaked in my husband's likeness. How was I to know? Does a wife question the form, the desire, the voice of the man she calls her own? But no. It was my body that bore the accusation, my soul branded with betrayal, my chastity weighed against the curse of another's sin. Why must a woman always answer? For what fault, for what sin? When her choices are stripped away, my world crumbled in an instant. A husband's doubt, sharper than any blade, pierced the life I had built. Did he not know me? The woman who served, who endured, whose love stood unwavering through years of silence? But no, his judgment came swift, his curse an eternal sentence to be stoned, rooted to the earth where I once walked as his wife, a shadow of the life I gave him. I prayed, I wept, I called the divine name, Ram, Ram, only Ram. This name became my heartbeat, my tether to hope in this forsaken form. When will he come? When will he wipe away the stigma, the weight of this beauty that cursed me, the burden I never sought? Why must women perpetually bear the fetters of patriarchy, rotten voiceless subjugation, condemned for the transgressions of gods and men alike? We are vessels of their will, never the architects of our own, offerings cast upon the altar of their vanity and power. When shall this relentless cycle fracture? When shall we ascend unbound and sovereign, complete within the sanctity of our own being? Through centuries, the story repeats, women bearing burdens not their own, labeled, discarded, their purity questioned, their lives judged by rules which they did not write. Will justice ever tilt in their favor? Or must we only hope for gods to intervene? Blessed be Brahma Rishi Vishwamitra, the sage who saw beyond my disgrace. With wisdom and purpose, he guided Ram to my salvation, knowing my worth beyond my stony form, urging the divine to free me, to see the woman beneath this unfair curse. And then Sri Ram came, hesitant to touch me with his feet. He saw not just an ordinary stone, but a soul tarnished by a patriarch's whims. His touch, a gentle whisper of salvation. His humility, a salve to the mental scars of eternity. With a single stride, he restored me to my mortal essence, my dignity, my existence. How do I thank the one who saw me and not the sin, who lifted the shroud of desolation? I am Ahilya, the first of the Panchkanya, an emblem of purity and defiance, yet bound by a life spent proving my worth, my love, my existence. Even now, some eyes linger with doubt, others with reverence. Yet I remain a name to dispel sin, a symbol of endurance, but at what cost? A woman's life spent in proving, in pleasing, in enduring, never her own. When will this madness end, or will it ever? As we close the chapter of Ahilya's voice, let us not forget the deeper truths her story carries. It is a call to question the narratives that have long silenced women, to challenge the structures that confine them, and to honor their struggles for dignity, truth, and self-worth. Ahilya's story is not just a myth. It is a mirror reflecting the perpetual trials faced by women in every age. May we strive for a future where no woman's purity, power, or existence is ever again questioned by the whims of others. Thank you to our dearest gentle listeners for listening with sympathetic ears, with open hearts and open minds. This marks the conclusion of our session. Thank you, listeners, for listening to Kaleidoscope, and stay tuned for our next upcoming program.